I'm out here trying to shoot a video and these crows won't shut up. And it's all because my neighbor decided to leave her trash out 3 days early. Welcome to day 7 of the Money Mindset series. Today we're going to talk about 3 things. Number 1, I'm going to answer a question about spenders, people that like to spend a lot of money, because that was a question that came in and I can relate to this very, very well. The second thing we're going to talk about is what to do going forward. Number 3 is the only thing needed in your life to basically accumulate massive amounts of wealth. I know, it sounds too good to be true, but it's coming. Today, as well as like the last week, has been insane. I woke up at 5 o'clock this morning. I have basically been working since 6:30 straight. It's now 5:30, and I still have to shoot the WattsTV video for tomorrow for the Money Mindset. It's like earlier this year, I didn't want to work at all. We went on our honeymoon, didn't want to work. Took 9 weeks off, as I said in my video the other day, or 2 months or whatever, and now I just can't get enough. Like, things are coming together, lots of things being checked off the list. It's pretty incredible. So it's just good to pay attention to the ebbs and flows. Ebbs and flows of life, ebbs and flows of the business. That's why winter was invented. Downtime, summer, go time. Most people take summer off. Go time. Summer builds the groundwork for the rest of the year. At least that's what I found out in my life. Summer really determines how the rest of the year is going to turn out. But you have to balance it. I have a lot of fun as well in the summer, clearly, as I'm going paddleboarding right now. Okay, so after a great honeymoon yesterday, after a great day yesterday for our anniversary with Kate, we're back. We're back in action, right? So day 4, I want to congratulate Kelly Wilby from Australia, who won the cash flow board game. I actually don't have it to show you because I already shipped it to her in Australia. That was going to cost me some shipping. And day 5 is Katie McFarland. As I said earlier, I apologize if I mispronounce your names, not my specialty. And she won a copy of Kate's book, as well as a copy of Seth's Godin, as well as a t-shirt. And I think that's it. So day 7, what we're gonna do for the question of the day giveaway, this is a big one. Are you guys ready? We're gonna give away some local Maine sea salt, which my friend ran this company called Sea Change. It's no longer in production. This is sea salt directly from the Maine coast. We also have another one of these fabulous t-shirts called Dream Big, Dream Girl. That is also a medium. I believe it's for girls. It won't fit me. I'm a little bit too small. Danielle Laporte Truth Bomb cards. We're hooking it up today because today's a very intense question that is going to get you to really look inside what's happening with yourself. War of Art, one of my favorite books. Autographed copy of Kate's book, of course. And we're also talking about not just like healthy mindset stuff, but also for your home. We have a copy of the beautiful book called The Healthy Home, which is an amazing, that was written by the CEO and the founder of USANA, which talks about how to basically set up your home for basically organic, healthy lifestyle, so you don't use it. There's a lot of toxins that enter a home on a daily basis, and what you can do around those. So it gives what's the problem, and then also gives the solution. So a lot of times we just give the problem, but it also gives the solution. Fantastic book. Oh, and The War of Art was written by Steven Pressfield. He also wrote a book called Turning Pro, which is one of the books that has changed my life. I probably say that a lot because there has been quite a few of them. So whoever wins today, getting hooked up. It's a big question though. Need some serious answers. Start with the number 1 thing, or let's start with the question that came in earlier this week that I have not answered yet. Around spending. Is one of the questions that came in and said, what if you and your partner are spenders? And how do you handle that when you're dealing with your money, accepting your money, participating with your money? Kate and I are huge spenders. We love to spend. We spend all the time. We actually don't budget at our house. We don't have a budget. So we basically know what our monthly or our expenses are. We know what we want to put away every single month. But we don't have, say, this amount of money we get to spend on coffee. This amount of money we're going to spend on books. This amount of money we're going to spend on entertainment. And the thing is, if we need more money, money, and she said this on a call the other day, which I thought was like so true. She said basically if we need more money, we just make some more money. And it's very, very true, because once you have done everything that I talked about leading up to the 7 days up to this point, that you build that self-confidence, you know there's a way to generate more money. How do you do that? You add value to your clients, to your customers. You figure out what people need, what they don't need. And so this is the number one, this is the hardest thing that we have to control under ourselves. It's one thing to make money, but it's also another thing to control your spending and control your money of where it's gonna go. I was just out, just got back from paddleboarding, and I was watching these birds, and they were fascinating and amazing birds, and they're flying along, and then just dive bombing, getting fish. And I was like, man, these birds, like pure freedom all day long. They can fly around, fly anywhere they want to go in the world, make wherever it is, and then just get their fish, right? And it's not about, and so I started thinking about this concept of freedom, financial freedom, time freedom, money freedom. And it's not about just creating lots of money for yourself to go buy stuff. It's about holding on to that freedom. It's about taking that freedom and disciplining yourself to allow you to sustain that freedom. And this is where I've switched my mindset around everything else. What helps with us and what's helped with Kate and myself is automated deductions. We had, when Kate's book came out in 2011, the book launch party was at Betterment.com and at their offices, and we set up an account with them at Betterment, and it's $100 a month. And this is just one example, right? It's $100 a month that comes out. We haven't even missed it. And next thing you know, I got a statement last year for taxes, and there was like a couple grand in there. We didn't even know that it's just been saving and saving and saving, and it's been adding up and adding up, and there's been money that's put in there. At the end of the year, throughout the year, what are we doing? We're paying our taxes quarterly now, you know, or have been, right? So we're paying our taxes quarterly. That allows deductions to come from, so at the end of tax time, we don't have these huge deductions coming from our taxes like we did a couple of years ago. And that was super eye-opening, right? So it's being smarter with what we're doing on a weekly, daily basis. Now this requires work for us every single week. The other week I ordered something from Amazon.com. It showed up to my house. I opened up the package. I was like, great, this is perfect. This is exactly what I want. And I sat there and I looked at it. And I said, do I really need this? Like, do I really need this? I have the same item over here in this other room, but this is better. This is a better item and it's more advanced. And if it was a camera that I'm shooting with now, that's one thing. But this was kind of a miscellaneous this is a miscellaneous item. And I looked at it, you know what? I don't need this. I don't need this. It's not adding value to me right now. It's not adding value to my life. I have a perfectly good, the item that I needed in the other room. I don't need to buy this. It was $150. So I put it back in the box, shipped it back to Amazon, cost me like $7 to ship it back or whatever. And I was like, you know what? That was a $7 mistake. But it was a $7, it wasn't a mistake, it was more of a learning experience. Because now I know before I hit buy, or before I go buy anything in that store, or the credit cards, or whatever that is, I wanna make sure that what it is that I'm buying, I truly, honestly need and value in my life right now. Like the most number one thing, it's like, okay, do we have certain stuff for the baby? That's where I want to put my money, right? It is to our baby, for our room, like maybe some clothes, some diapers, stuff like this, like the crib, they're gonna need a place to sleep one day. You know, these type of things are valuable, and that's what I should be investing my money into. It's stuff for our child that's coming. I should be putting money away in investments and start looking at it from that perspective. So when it comes to spending, it's not about accumulating this business and creating this freedom that you want. Now, the way I look at it now, it's long term. And that's what I'm gonna talk a little bit about later today, about what is the number one thing for you. It's like that power, it's more powerful to hold on to your money, to save it and put it away and invest it, than it is to swipe that credit card to go spend it. Even if you've created financial freedom for yourself, it's not about creating the money and creating the wealth and creating the freedom, it's about maintaining that long term. Because there are so many, especially athletes, you see it more and more. Actors and athletes, you see it all the time. They amass this massive amounts of wealth in a very quick period of time. They're broke 5 years later. They're dead broke. They're filing for bankruptcy. They're broke. You know, and so you don't want to do that. It's actually more powerful to create what you're creating now and sustain that for the next 20 to 30 years. And it's all it's requirement. It's something that Kate and I work on a weekly basis. Not gonna lie to you, like it's very easy for us to be like, we need it, go get it. 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 But what I'm gonna talk about here in a second, it plays right into this. And that's the direction we're really taking our business and where we're moving. So, answer your spending question, That's my answer. Okay, I want to shift gears a little bit. So now we've gone through the 7 days. We're moving on towards the home stretch. We've put in the time. We've done a lot of work, or you have done a lot of work, I should say, on what it is that is most important for you. Where are you on the scale of 1 to 10? Like, there's been a lot of things we've talked about. If you missed any videos, they're in the description of this on the YouTube channel. They're in the description of this on Facebook. You can go to my YouTube channel, subscribe. There's a playlist called the Money Mindset playlist. Now I want to talk about what is the #1 tip you need to create the wealth and the freedom and everything that you've ever dreamed of. There's only one thing, and it's one thing only. And I'm serious about this. I'm not joking around. There will be many people that watch this video that will never do anything. They won't accomplish the dreams they want. They won't accomplish the freedom they want. They're just not gonna do it. They'll make excuses. There's something that will never work out. They don't have the right book. They don't have the right tool. They don't have the right system. It'll continually be a dialogue of bullshit, basically, and stuff that we're telling ourselves that's not entirely true. But there is the other folks on this call that will make that shift, that will make that change, and that could be you. And you could be watching this and you're like, you know what, Mike, I am fed up with my situation right now. And that's what happened to me. I was fed up with it. Kate was fed up with it. She was tired of the situation she was in. I was tired of the situation I was in, and I've explained that through the past week. And what I want you to realize, and what I started thinking about, and the way we run our business, is we run our business like this. Remember the other day I talked about the residual income effect, right? It was about, so you're putting in a little bit, can you see this? You're putting in a little bit of work, and then all of a sudden it explodes, right? The residual income video. And that's how we run our life. That's how I think about everything that we're putting out. What can I put into place today? It might take me 3 months to work on something before there's any dollars or any income that is generated from our business or from this entity. And then all of a sudden, but I want to do it once. And we've done a lot of things in our business just to do it, and we've had to redo it and redo it and redo it. But at this point, the way we're running our business, I want to make sure that everything I'm doing today will be sustainable 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now. And it's a long-term outlook. And I've heard Gary Vaynerchuk has talked about this, and I'm going to talk a little bit about this as well, because I think it's really important, and it's really started to hit home with me the more. It's legacy. It is, and legacy is a very long-term strategy. It's a very long-term outlook. It's what are you doing today that somebody else will benefit from 30 years from now? Like, think about Steve Jobs, Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, Bill Gates, right? George Washington. Like, all of these, Michael Jordan and what he's done for professional basketball. It's like, you think of all of these people, and whoever that is in your life. You could be a huge fan of Kate's mom, Dr. Christiane Northrup, and what she's done for women's health. Like, it's phenomenal, right? You could be a fan of Kate, what she's done for money. You could be a fan of Susie Orman or Dave Ramsey or any of these individuals, and what have they done? Is, I believe, when I look at people that I've named, or folks we still talk about today, the Rockefellers, the Vanderbilts, the Carnegie Mellon, like, all of these names bring something that has to do with legacy. A lot of you might be like, oh, I don't like that person, whatever, but you have to think they've made an impact in the world that has sustained for a very long time, a lot of them. And what Steve Jobs has done with Apple and the iPhone is revolutionize the world more than once, over and over and over again. iPad, right? It's just continual process of how they've revolutionized the world. Railroads, cars, you know, you go back in time of what the history has been made, and it's this legacy and this long-term outlook. And when it comes to your financial situation, your health, let's say you want to lose weight, let's say you want to make some more money, let's say you want to take a longer vacation, maybe you just want to spend some more time at home with your kids, whatever that is, I want you to start really thinking about a long-term strategy for what it is that you're creating in the world. And I just talked about the freedom aspect to be able to maintain that long term. And so legacy is so important. And it's not just about the money. Like, we get so caught up in all the day-to-day little tasks and the BS that happens on a day-to-day stuff. And it's not about the day-to-day. Yes, you want to be present. Yes, you want to enjoy your day. but this is a much longer term outlook. Like, I'm about to have a kid, right? I'm thinking about the next 18 years of their life already. What is gonna happen by the time they turn 18? And I'm not stressing myself out about it. I'm putting that in my head. Like, I'm ingraining that into my mind. Where do I wanna be working in the next 5 years? What do I want to instill in my child? And take away the amazing things my parents taught me and put that into my kid. Like, how do I want to take what they've done and then add my own spin to it, add my own flavor, add my own skill sets to that information to teach that kid amazing things, right? So I'm thinking about this legacy aspect of what it's going to be for a kid, as well as for Kate. Like, what am I doing in our relationship that will maintain? So when our children grow up, like, and they think about us, they think about we're really good people. How are we influencing our neighbors? How are we influencing the people in our lives? Are we leaving good taste in their mouth? I'm sure there's people that have watched this video or people that I've interacted with maybe not left a good taste in their mouth, and then it happens. You know, it's like, I don't go out, my goal is not to go do that. My goal is not to piss people off and upset. And my goal is to put out good information, and sometimes that creates a reaction. Sometimes it's negative. Sometimes people look at it like it's my problem or my fault. But the reality is it's something that is internalized inside themselves, and they're not taking a reflection on themselves. And as I've said this before, when Kate and I get into fights or we get into skirmishes or we get into arguments, I really know that what I did, 95% of the time, it's something that I did wrong or I'm upset and mad at myself about, and then I take it out on her. So I reflect and make that switch about what is going on with me, and usually I figure it out, and then I'm just like, then her and I talk about it and we move on, and like, life goes on. Look at your finances, we'll bring it back to the money mindset. There is one tip that I can leave with you that will allow you to amass any wealth whatsoever that you have ever wanted to, allow you to have more freedom than you've ever wanted to have in your life, basically to have the best health you've ever had, anything that you've ever wanted in your life. One thing, and only one thing. Let me get a new piece of paper, because it's important. And I'll write it very large. You. It's up to you. You can have whatever you want in your life, but it's up to you. If you don't make the changes, you don't do the necessary things that need to be done for you to create what it is you want to create in the world, you don't make those jumps, you don't make those changes, it's never going to happen. You can have whatever you want. There is so much abundance in this planet. There's so many opportunities to create the change you want in your life. There's so many ways to impact this world. There's so many things you could do. Maybe it's just spending 5 more hours a week at home with your kid. That decision is up to you. You have to probably take a risk that you've been putting off for a really long time. That risk will be scary. That risk will make you jump through hoops, do things that you never thought were possible, do things that are completely uncomfortable, like be in a situation that you've never thought you'd be in, but it's gonna be hard. It's not easy. There's gonna be struggle, there's gonna be resistance, there's going to be uncomfortability, like if that is even a word, but you will be uncomfortable doing these changes, creating these risks. But the end result of what will come out of this will be the greatest thing you could ever imagine. You'll get the freedom you want, you'll get the money you want, you'll get the health you want. You will create the life that you truly want to live. It's not just about dreaming it, the life you truly want to live. I know, because I was in your shoes 6 years ago, 7 years ago, 8 years ago. I wanted something greater, I wanted something more. And the truth is, I'm living what I put out 6 to 7 years ago that I actually wanted. And I'm not fucking around based off my video on the anniversary where I said I'm really, really happy. Like, I am very happy right now. And there's a lot more that I want to continually do. There's a lot more I want to create. There's a lot more of people that I want to impact with work, because I believe there's so much negativity in the world and so many things trying to hold us back, that there has to be a light that comes through, that shines through. And that's what's gonna drive me. That's what's gonna keep me going. It's something greater. And I have a kid on the way that's going to influence me in a way that I probably will never know until that day comes, and what it's gonna be like, you know? It's up to you. The question of the day today is, what is that big, hairy, scary thing that is right in front of you that you have been avoiding for so long? And you know you should be doing it, and you carry it around on a daily basis over and over and over again. And that's truly what is holding you back from creating the freedom you want. It's holding you back from you. It's holding you back from yourself. What story have you been telling yourself over and over and over again? I know from going to Tony Robbins, and I can hear it on a daily basis, people telling them stories, same stuff that they've been carrying around for 30 years, and they keep telling themselves that story. What is your story? What have you been holding back for so long? And if you've accomplished everything you want, like if you're super happy with everything you are, what was that story that you kept holding back? And you finally broke through with that. You had your turning pro movement, as Steven Pressfield has. You got over the resistance, as Steven Pressfield talks about in The Art of War. I would love to know that. You can answer that in the comments of the YouTube channel, Facebook, wherever, and I'll answer those for you. And I wish you guys so much success. I'm gonna keep putting out WattsTV for I'm not sure how long, but this money mindset stuff, it's no freaking joke. Like, this stuff is what will allow to fly like that bird. Have a great day, guys. Watts is out.